Hi everybody, it's Crystal. So today I'm going to show you how to make this scarf. It's super pretty and it's very easy. So all you need to know how to do is double crochet and front post double crochet, and it makes a unique design. Look at that. Now the stitch I used is called the beehive stitch. Now I'm going to tell you how big my scarf is and how much yarn I used for it. And I'm also going to tell you how much yarn you'll need for a blanket, because you can also, this would make a great blanket because it's pretty solid stitch. Alright, so my scarf is long. It measures about 90 inches long, and then width-wise, it's about 6 inches. So you could wrap it around, you know, nicely. But I'll give you the multiple so you can change the size if you'd like. But that is the scarf size, about 6 by 90. Now for the scarf, and the yarn that I used is Bernat Symphony yarn by Yarnspirations. It's an 80 acrylic, 20% wool, and it is classified as a bulky number 5. The color I am using is pomegranate punch. Now there are 309 yards per ball, and to make this scarf the size that I make it, you're probably going to need about I went through about I'm going to say you're going to need probably about 500 yards of a bulky 5 to make it 450, 500 yards to make it that size. You can use a 4-weight or a 3-weight or whatever you want, 6-weight. I'll cut, because you'll just have to adjust it to the chain amount to your liking, because I'll give you the multiple. Now if you want to make a blanket, like throw approximately 48 to 50 inches wide by about 60 inches tall, you will need about approximately, or any bulky 5, something like that. And of course, if you're going to use a 4-weight or anything like that, you'll need a little bit more. But that's the amount of yarn you'll need for this. Really turned out quite beautiful. I really like the solidness of the pattern, the easiness of it. Yarn turned out beautiful, but it would work great in any color or any variety of yarn. All right, and then I'm going to be using a size K, which is a 6.5 millimeter crochet hook, and that is for the bulky 5-weight yarn. If you want to use a 4-weight, I would recommend a 6 millimeter crochet hook, and a 3-weight I would recommend a 5.5 millimeter crochet hook. Okay, for this, now this stitch is done in a multiple of 2 plus 1, which means your beginning chain needs to be evenly divisible by 2, and then you add 1 more to your base chain. So for the scarf, I started out with a chain of 261 stitches to make it the size that I did. So I did it lengthwise, very long, and then I made it till I reached about 6 inches. Now if you want to make the blanket in the size that I talked about, the throw size, I would start out with a chain of about 151 stitches, and then you could do the rows up until you reach about 60 inches or so. All right, but for the scarf, once you get your chain made, remember multiples of 2 plus 1. I'm going to show you on a smaller scale, but 261 is what I started out with. We're going to go ahead and do a double crochet in the 4th chain from the hook. So remember, we don't count the one that's on our hook. We count over 1, 2, 3, 4, and we put a double crochet into that 4th chain. And now we're going to put 1 double crochet in each stitch until we get to the end of our row. And if you're following along with me, it's going to be a long row. But remember, you can make it any size that you choose. All right, once you make it to the end of row 1, you should have a total of 259 stitches. And we're going to start the repeat rows. So rows 2 and 3 are the repeat rows for the whole pattern. So we're going to start row 2 by chaining 1 and turning our work. So we're going to go ahead and put a double crochet right back here into the same stitch right there. Just like that. And now we're going to put a front post double crochet around the post of the next stitch. So we just go, instead of going into the top, we go around the post of the stitch like that. And then we work our double crochet as normal. And then we repeat. We put a regular double crochet into the top of the next stitch. And a front post double crochet around the post of the next. Double crochet into the top of the next stitch, and front post double crochet around the post of the next. Double crochet, front post double crochet, double crochet, and a front post double crochet. And we want to repeat this until we get to the last stitch of our row. Okay, I'm kind of coming here to the end. I have 2 stitches left. Wait, so I'm going to put a front post double crochet into the second to the last stitch, and then the last stitch, which is this stitch here on the end. Go ahead and put a double crochet into the top of the last stitch, and that'll end row 2, and you should have the same amount of stitches, 259 stitches. That's what you will always have from now on, if you're following along with me. Now for row 3, we're going to chain 1 and turn our work. It's kind of just a repeat of row 2, actually. So we're going to go ahead and do a double crochet right here into this very first stitch. And then we're going to put a front post double crochet into the next. So it's this stitch that's kind of set into the back. We're going to do a front post double crochet around it. So it's pretty much the same as the previous row, except for the stitches look a little bit different. Double crochet into the next. And front post double crochet into the next. Double crochet into the next, and front post double crochet into the next. So we're just double crocheting on top of the double crochet from the previous row. So we double crochet, and we're putting a front post double crochet around the front post double crochet from the previous row. And we're just going to repeat this until we get to the end. So I guess actually it's just basically a repeat of this row, row 3, or a repeat of row 2. They're pretty much the same. So however you want to look at it here, it's just front double crochet, front post double crochet, double crochet, front post double crochet. And we just keep doing that back and forth every row. Every row you'll have the same number of stitches. You'll always begin with a double crochet, and you will always end with a double crochet. So you can see that I'm coming here on the end of my sample swatch. And I'm going to put a double crochet there in that last stitch. I'll chain 1, turn my work, and repeat. And after a while, this is what it will start to look like. Now, remember, you do this for as long as you want. I did mine till I reached about 6 inches. And like I said, if you want to, for the amount of yardage I said, if you want to make a blanket, you could keep going to about 60 inches or whatever you want to do. Remember, the multiple's 2 plus 1, so you can make anything that you want. This would be a nice sweater stitch, I think, too. I think that'd make a great sweater stitch. But yeah, I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. I think the scarf turned out beautiful. I might just keep it. Nah, I'll donate it. But thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope you would follow along. Okay, please don't forget to check me out on Instagram, where you can post all your work there. Show me what you made. Don't forget to check out my family blog channel. It's pretty cool. Put a link to that below in the description box. And until next time, guys, take care. Bye.